Hey guys, what's up? So, today we are going to be talking about a new little piston thingy and a new little, whatever you want to call this thing. And we're going to put it on these guns. Let's talk about it. Okay, so I've had this Glock 19 for a while. It's got the Warpoet barrel, it's got a Brownell slide, Swamp Fox optic. This is a OEM Glock lower, OEM parts in the bottom. I stippled it and did whatever, but I've been running this guy suppressed with this Omega 9K for a while, and I have really liked it. It's started to actually run well, especially after I put a better barrel on it. It started to really work well. I also have the Glock 48, and I'm calling it the Glock 48 2.0 because I had the 48, and that's what I built first. And now that I have the 2.0, basically I just changed a couple things, and one of those things was adding the threaded barrel. Now that I have a threaded barrel on this guy, again, I've been running it somewhat suppressed, but that's mainly a concealed carry gun. One thing I've noticed when I run a gun suppressed, a pistol, specifically a pistol, rifles not as much, but pistols I have noticed with this guy, the Omega 9K, it suppresses well, it does its thing, it's really, really cool. It's actually really cool, a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. But they do tend to walk off. My main complaint is that you'll be shooting, and after a couple magazines, whatever, you'll start to notice that you're having trouble hitting things, and then you'll go to tighten your suppressor, and you'll notice it's like a quarter turn off, or it started to work its way loose. And the bad thing about that is that as it works its way loose, well, your shots just start going everywhere because it's starting to, it changes things. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert on all this stuff. But what I do understand, what I believe I do understand, how I understand it is that as that bullet passes through the suppressor, if everything remains constant, the same, then the way that those gases and things interact with the bullet as it goes down the suppressor and through the suppressor, those remain the same, relatively the same. As the suppressor works and walks its way off, well, now you've thrown in a bunch of variables, and now that's why you see a bunch of your accuracy just starts going crazy. Some suppressors are better than others, from what I'm understanding. I only have one true pistol suppressor. I've used that 100 Town Arms one, and it's okay, but no, I wouldn't use that. Anyway, that's a different story, different time. But this guy, that's my only complaint, okay? You'll have to sit there and you either really crank down on it, and then you're good for, you know, an afternoon or something like that, but then you're going to have to take it off, you're going to have to move it around, whatever, and I run this on my MP5, so after I get done shooting it anyway, I take it off. Anyway, I beat that horse to death. So, this is what the magic is that makes this. I'm going in rabbit trails, but I'm going somewhere with this, believe me or not. This is the magic that makes the pistol work. Yowzer. This is the booster that makes the suppressor work on a what's it, a Browning style pistol, I think? I don't know. The barrel actually lifts, right? So this barrel actually lifts and everything. Y'all don't need to know all that stuff. Okay, so to keep from getting off into the weeds, we're going to try to keep this relatively short. This is a first look at this new product. I think it's kind of new. I don't know if they released it in August, but sometime in 2020. But I'm going to try it too. They didn't even have it on here, but this is their Cam-Lok. I know that stands for something, but it's their Cam-Lok. Basically, that you have a piston, right, that you replace your piston with, right? And then you put these little attachment pieces, these little, almost like a 3-lug. It's not a true 3-lug. It's just an easier way to understand it. But you put these little attachments onto your threaded barrels. You leave them on the threaded barrels, and then you're supposed to mount the suppressor quickly, easily, and without that walk that we were talking about. So let's check it out. Let's check it out real quick, okay? We'll check out the piston first before we get to the other things. And hopefully I got enough battery and everything. Okay. And they have a couple different kinds of pistons for different suppressors, and I think I did get the right one. I was really kind of concerned about that because they didn't say it worked with the Omega 9K, but they did say it worked with Silent Jacob. Okay? So yes, these do look pretty much identical, except this guy right here is the Cam-Lok. The Griffin got the Cam-Lok thing on it, whatever, the threading, whereas this guy's just a straight up half a 28 thread. Okay? So, set that guy aside. I don't remember what company that was from. I don't think it's even marked on there. But anyway, set that guy aside. Put this feller back on our booster assembly. Hopefully everything goes in together. Hopefully. I'll break it. There we go. There we go. Alright. Nasty, nasty, nasty. I have grease on it from last time, and man, that grease worked. That's gross. Okay, so that guy's on there. We will go ahead and put that into the suppressor itself. So this shouldn't add any dimensional length dimensions, whatever, to this setup, because this is pretty much the exact same, right? Sticks out just a little hair. Okay, so that guy should be good. Let's just, why not, let's start out with this guy. They have two different kinds. I got the two different, well, they got more than two different kinds, but there are two different kinds I got. You got half a 28 special, I think is what they call it, which are made for the, see if these are marked before I get them opened up and mixed up. No, I don't see that they're marked. The specials are supposedly made for smaller frame guns like the 48, 43X, 43, I think the SIG, 365, whatever, because their barrels are thinner. Okay, believe it or not, their barrels really are thinner. You probably can tell that if I hold this barrel up, hold these barrels up, you should be able to tell those barrels, the 48 is definitely thinner and smaller than the standard 19 size. So something about the attachment is supposed to work better. I don't know what's supposed to work better or not, but there you go. Okay, and what they recommend, see, that'll look kind of weird. What they recommend is 20 foot-pounds to torque it down and get it on there correctly. They say do not use Loctite. So I'm going to put this guy in a vise, and I'm just going to get it torqued down properly, best as I can. Well, that's pretty easy. 20 foot-pounds is not really that much, especially if you have a big old Torx bar like this. It takes a, I think it's a 3/4 socket. They make it very easy to put on like that. Okay, apparently, because I was able to do it, and it's pretty simple. Okay, so it is going to add you some dimension right there, right? You are going to get, instead of just like your standard threads go to about right here, so you're adding some length. You're adding a little bit of width to the barrel itself, but that doesn't extend past the width of the slide. So, yes, so I am able, now I got this big old comp looking thing coming down the bottom, and they do have a comp. I didn't get one. I might at some point, if I'm going to leave this on all the time. So this should work with your standard holsters, unless they have a closed bottom. So if you have an open bottom holster, it should work just fine. Okay, that's that guy. That's that feller. Let's go ahead and put on this guy. Alright, best way I'm seeing to do it, I got this wrapped in leather. Not cranking down too much, I'm just holding it still. I don't want it to be moving on me. Get all the nastiness off of here real quick. Alright, I'm not Loctiting, so I'm not applying any kind of thread locker on there at all. And you get your little Cam-Lok. Should thread right on. Now, before we do that, if you take a notice of how tall this is, right? If it screwed down all the way flush with the slide, it would still stick up just a hair. But it should come up to the shoulder of the barrel, right past the threads. So actually, that doesn't look bad, really. Okay, 20 foot-pounds on a 3/8, or a 3/8, yeah. A 3/4, I believe, socket. There you go. Should be all you need right there. 3/4? Yeah. And that right there should be all you need. Alright, and that there should be all you need. I don't think I really scratched it. It's got some nasties on it. That doesn't look that bad. When you look at both of these side by side now, you can tell there's some witchcraft going on with them, right? It's got some something going on. It almost just looks like a carry comp kind of thing. And like I said, they do have comps. So I might get one at some point. I don't know. But now let's really see. This is the first time I've ever done this. I've seen it like, I think there's 5 videos on YouTube about it right now. So it should just go on like that. Okay? Well, that's not bad. And supposedly, you just get it hand tight, or not tight, you just hand snug. That should be all you have to do. I was worried slightly that you were going to add a whole bunch of dimension here and really throw the feng shui off. Nope. But it doesn't really look like it. Alright? And you can still clock it if you need to clock it, right? To get your accuracy that we were talking about before, once you get that. Obviously, once you get that, you can mount this in, what, 3 different ways, so you're going to have to be careful. Definitely going to have to be careful. And I would say you're probably going to have to make sure you go the right way, because I think it looks like you can try to tighten it down the other way, which would be clockwise. One of them would be clockwise. I don't know. That is interesting. That is interesting. I can't wait to get out and shoot that and see how that works. Yeah, this will be quite the little interesting thing. But then the idea is that you can take the suppressor off that gun and then throw it on this gun. And actually, that looks fine. That looks, ooh, that is close. You see that? That's really close in there. Right in here. This guy already has enough problems cycling. That's not really interfering, that guide rod. It's not really interfering, but it's right there. It's right there. We'll see. Over time, we'll see. Okay, let's kind of try to break this down and say, why would you even want something like this? Well, I literally just put these things on. I have not shot them. I have absolutely 0 time with them. I think the video is rolling on like 10 minutes, so I have about 10 minutes of experience with these things. My understanding of this is this would work well, right, if you're going to be moving a suppressor from host to host, right? Or if you have, let's say, a 45 can and that you're going to be shooting on a 9mm and a 45, because you can do that, right? You can shoot smaller calibers through larger board suppressors, right? So you can shoot a 9 in general. Take this with a grain of salt. You can shoot a 9 through a 40 or a 45 caliber can. Don't think it goes backwards to shoot a 45 through a 9mm can. You'll blow it up, okay? But the thing there is that with those pistons that we talked about, with these little guys, in general, with your 45 cans, you're going to have a different thread. It's not going to be half by 28. It's going to be 5/8 by 24. Or, actually, I don't even know what they have on a 45 can. I don't have a 45 can, so I don't know what they have on those. I have to look it up. But they have a different thread pitch. So usually, you'd have to go through that whole process of taking out your piston, changing your piston, yada, 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 do the whole thing, and then switch it over. Whereas this, it would literally be as simple as taking the suppressor off one host and putting the suppressor on another host. It would be that simple, okay? So that, I believe, is the intended purpose. What I don't know, I would say more interested, well, no, I would say more interested because I don't have a 45 can. I have 9mm and I have a 9mm can. So I don't really have that cross multi-cal thing going on, really, okay? So my thing is if this alleviates that whole issue of the can walking off, because I can tell you, it's easy to stick this guy on, right? It's pretty easy to stick it on. You give it a nice snug, yeah, it's not just going to come off. That's for sure. It's not just going to come off. So if it alleviates that issue of it trying to walk itself off, then that's a win for me. At that point, I'll probably just leave this guy on here right now anyway, but I might get the little comp on here because I'll be carrying it like this most of the time. I'm not going to carry a suppressor with me. That'd be cool. I'm not James Bond. But for like the Big Daddy, the Glock 19, I think it just looks cool. I think it works. I think the practical application there of making sure it doesn't walk itself off, for me, that's why I got it. Okay? So time will tell. We'll shoot this guy and just kind of see what happens with it. But this is a first little look. I hadn't really seen anybody else have these things out yet, and I was like, holy cow, like if that alleviates that problem, you got some major wins. Some things I wish it could do, and I don't think it can. I think it explicitly says on the website, you can't put a fixed barrel spacer in here and run this on a fixed barrel gun. So that's what I understand. It says you'll break something. I don't know if you're going to break something on here, something on the gun. I don't understand why that would break. I don't know, but don't do that, I guess, because that would be cool if you were able to do that. Put like this would be like a little QD thing, almost like MP5 style, right? I mean, pretty much like MP5 style. I would kind of like that, but I'm still gonna have to be running this guy. Take the booster out, put the 3-lug in if I'm gonna put it on my MP5. Anyway, guys, I hope you found that interesting. Like I said, I haven't seen a lot of these videos out yet. I'm definitely gonna shoot this. If you have any questions about it, please ask, and I will try to get you the answer. I'm not affiliated with Griffin Armament at all, even though I do have a Griffin in my logo, because that's from my family thing. That has nothing to do with them. Alright, that got on a weird rabbit trail. I'm going to shut up now, okay? If you have any questions about this Griffin Armament Cam-Lok system, let me know. I'm not an expert on this. I'm not affiliated with them at all, so I know probably just about as much about this as you do. So I can look up information, but that information is probably going to be from their website. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Look forward to shooting this stuff and sharing with y'all what happens, alright? Y'all be good, be safe, and we'll catch y'all in the next video.